if I traded it all, if I gave
Welcome back, everyone. My next guest is calling in. I have with me Daniel Welch Kelly, and he's the author of The Beauty Beneath. Welcome to the show. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself and about this book. Boy, oh boy, it is hot here. This is going to be a great read for everybody for the summer. So listen up. Go ahead.
All right, great, Carol. Well, it's nice to be with you this evening. Yes, I am a juvenile court judge in Indiana. I've done that for about the past 7 years. Previously, I was a private practice attorney and a deputy prosecutor in Indiana. And so my book, The Beauty Beneath, I've used some of my legal experiences in the story, but what I really was wanting to do was to come up with something that would be sort of an uplifting page turner, I guess, is the way I would put it. So I've written, there are about 80-some chapters. They're short chapters, a few pages each. Usually try to keep a little drama from one chapter to the next, and I have the main story and some subplots going on. And the idea is to entertain the reader and also to inspire the reader, to actually, make you feel good when you're done reading it. That's the hope.
That's what you said to me before you came on, that you really wanted to do something to make them feel good after reading it. But also you mentioned to me something about how the Les Mis had affected you, and how tell them a little bit about how that affected you. That was pretty awesome.
Yes. Well, I love reading, and I'm sure a lot of your listeners are readers as well. And I read nonfiction, fiction, and really about everything. And a lot of the fiction that I found myself particularly drawn to, Carol, is some of the classic fiction that was written 100 years and longer ago, that sort of had a moral to the story and made the reader kind of feel good. Les Mis, I liked particularly, and the reason that I mention that to you is I have a character that I somewhat modeled after the Monsignor Bienvenu. I don't know if you all recall
I do.
The story of Les Mis, but basically Jean Valjean was a criminal who had spent 19 years in prison in France for stealing a loaf of bread to feed his sister's young son, who was starving, and he got 19 years in prison for that. And when he got out, he was completely lost. He seemed to sort of be one of the soulless. He was wandering the French countryside and wandered upon the Bishop Bienvenu's home. And the bishop, or Monsignor, as he's alternately referred to in the book, invited him into his home and fed him a sumptuous feast and really treated him like royalty. He even ended up inviting the Jean Valjean to spend the night at his home. And the next morning, before the Monsignor had really realized that Jean Valjean had gone, the police were at his door with the criminal, and they also had with him some silver service belonging to the bishop that Jean had stolen from him. And the police said, this guy says you gave this to him. And the bishop, much to the surprise, I'm sure, to Jean Valjean, said, yes, I did give that to my friend Jean, and he hurried out so fast he forgot to take these candlesticks I also wanted to give him. And he handed Jean a couple of silver candlesticks. And this man, Jean Valjean, who had such a rough life, was completely dumbstruck at the unsolicited kindness and mercy shown by this Monsignor Bienvenu. And as a result, it really transformed his life. And I understand that it's fiction, but it was wonderful, because what Victor Hugo did was he then showed how this Jean Valjean went from being kind of a contemptible character to one of the most heroic characters in all of literature. He became mayor of his town, operated a successful business, used his business and his position as mayor to do kindnesses and lift the the spirits of all those he encountered. And so what I really wanted to do was to write a book that showed how hope given to a person who's in a hopeless situation can really be life transforming. So my goal was both to, as I said, to entertain, and I think it does that between the subplots and the main story, which has an element of mystery to it, and there's some things that happen in it that I've been told are very inspirational to people. I actually have had people tell me that it really made them feel hope-filled and wanting to be a better person. So that's, with people like that, I think the book's hit a home run, because that really was my goal, to lift the spirits of the reader as well as to entertain.
Well, I know that it's received some great, excellent reviews on Amazon. And so here's what we're going to do, though. We want to open up the lines for everyone to get entered into it. It's a hardback, cover of this book. And so we want everyone to call in, get entered in to win. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. And this is going to be a real feel-good book for the summer. Maybe it's you, maybe it's someone that you know. So keep on calling. I'm letting you call throughout the rest of the show for it at 602-277-5369. You can go to Amazon.com. You can get it there. You can also go to Barnes & Noble and all of the bookstores that are online. But call in here and get entered in to win. Get a great book to make you feel good for the summer. 602-277-5369. And toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. So let me ask you something, just real quickly, just maybe one a review. What have they said about it on Amazon?
Well, I've had a writer, Katie, who wrote excellent book. I didn't want to put it down. Surprised ending is very emotional inspiration. I highly recommend this book. Another person said, really good storyline that incorporates different characters whose lives intertwine in one way or another. Good spiritual book to help you refocus on what's important. And there are several others that are listed.
Talk to us a little bit about the book. I want to talk about it more.
Sure.
So, let's talk about it. What's it about? What's it? How does it? What's some of the mystery in it and how it goes?
Sure. Well, the kind of thumbnail sketch of it is that Margaret Millington is a main character, and she's a wealthy, cynical, mid-50s alcoholic, and she's suffering from severe depression. Another main character is Peter Kearns, and he's a 31-year-old Catholic priest, and Peter has a burn-scarred face that he somehow mysteriously suffered as a very young child. It seems that kind of fate brings the two together, and they end up developing a friendship that allows Margaret to witness the hope that this young man brings to people in a variety of really kind of hopeless situations, some involving the criminal justice system, some involving addiction of other types that people have and are going through, infidelity. There are a variety of real difficult life circumstances, and this priest, Margaret sees, seems to be able to bring hope to people in a lot of those situations, and he ultimately gives her a new purpose in her life. About halfway through the story, then, the priest is diagnosed with a terminal illness treatable only by a bone marrow transplant from a blood relative. But unfortunately, his prognosis is grim because the young man was raised in a series of foster homes in Chicago, and no one knows the identity of Peter's birth family. They wonder, was he neglected as a child leading to his burns that really cover his face and body, or did they possibly burn him intentionally? So Margaret wants to help her dear friend and hires a detective to try to solve the mystery of Peter's birth and early years in time to save his life.
Now, what we're going to do is we're going to leave the lines open. We're going to go to a break, and when we come back, I want to talk further about it. We've got our lines open here. You can go to Amazon.com. You can go to BarnesandNoble.com. The book is called The Beauty Beneath by Daniel Welch Kelly. But we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win a hardcover copy of the version. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. This is a real feel-good book book for the summer, and everyone loves a summer read. So if it's you or someone that you know, give us a call here at 602-277-5369, and toll free it's 1-866-536-1100. What would be real quickly, because we don't have a lot of time, but your underlying message of the book?
Sure. I guess the underlying message of the book is that we all have in our lives the power within us to really make a profound influence on the lives of those around us, both friends and strangers alike. And Peter demonstrates that with his life, and that's what's really helps transform Margaret in her own life.
Again, our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. The book is called The Beauty Beneath. It's by Daniel Welch Kelly. You can go to Amazon.com. You can go to Barnes & Noble.com, but we've got our lines open here for everyone to get entered in to win a hardcover version of it. The number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. It's a real feel-good book for the summer. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back. We're talking to the author Daniel Welch Kelly. He's the author of the book The Beauty Beneath. This is a real feel-good book, so if you're a lover of books, you're going to want to read this. We've got a great read for the summer. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. We've got everyone getting entered in to win a hardcover version of it, so you can go on Amazon.com, you can go to Barnes & Noble, but call in here, get entered in to win at 602-277-5369. Everyone loves a good book for the summer, don't they?
I hope so. I think they'll enjoy it.
Absolutely. Now, I want to kind of go into some other things. First of all, who is your target audience for this book?
Sure. Well, it is definitely an adult book in that, and it's not, I don't mean it's got racy scenes and things like that, but some of the content is definitely very much adult in nature, in dealing with addictions and, as I said, infidelity, life and death. And so there are some sort of heavy themes in the book. And so I would say it's the target audience are adults who like good dramatic fiction, and as I said, want to have something that lifts the spirits at the end.
And again, we've got the lines open here. Our number here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Get entered in to win a hardcover version of the book. And so, again, would you tell everybody again what your underlying message is? Because some people might have not heard it.
Sure. Really, the underlying message is that each person really has it within themselves, if they choose, to make a great impact on all of those around us in our lives, not only those who are close to us, our family and friends, co-workers, but even people that you just have brief contact with. And one of the main characters in the case, Father Peter Kearns, demonstrates that to his good friend Margaret. And I think that really is sort of the underlying message of the book.
And you're saying that, what about your background? Anything from your background, does it get entered into your writing? I can't see how it couldn't.
Well, sure. I do have some subplots that do deal with the courtrooms, the criminal justice system, and that's where I've spent most of the last 30 years. And so I do have that. I enjoy a lot of the John Grisham stories that are, have legal themes and are fast-paced. And I kind of like the way he, I think, keeps readers wanting to turn the pages by leaving a little bit of drama at the end of each chapter. And so I hope to do something similar in this book. They are short chapters. It's a quick read. It's about 300 pages, but I think it's an enjoyable read as you go. I mean, I think it flows well, and you kind of are in suspense most of the time. And there is a mystery, as I say. They're trying to figure out what is the origin of this young priest who needs this bone marrow transplant from a blood relative when he was raised in foster homes in Chicago and knows nothing about his family. So it also has the element of mystery throughout.
Now, the book is called The Beauty Beneath. It's by Daniel Welch Kelly. You can go to Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com, but you can also call in here. Everyone's getting entered into win a hardcover version of it. It's a feel-good book for the summer, and our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll-free, it's 1-866-536-1100. I want to also, would you say what the most compelling aspect of your story is?
Sure, and I without giving anything away, I've had a number of people that I know who have read it that told me that it made them really feel motivated to become a better person. So it made them feel good and really inspired them to want to be a better person. So I feel like that's kind of, aiming high for a novel, but that was my goal, and I hope it works. And if your readers give it a chance, hopefully they'll find that it does.
Well, again, they can go to BarnesandNoble.com. They can go to Amazon.com. There's been great reviews. I want you to tell a couple of more so they can hear that. The
Sure.
book is called The Beauty Beneath, and we've got everyone entered in to win a hardcover here. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. Go ahead and tell them what a couple of the other reviews are.
Sure. I have one that says, "I love this book, a great story which reminds us of the great power of love, great read which keeps you turning the page. It would make a great gift for any occasion." Lynn Z wrote, "I really enjoyed reading this book. I came to care very much about the characters and felt like they were people who I knew. Halfway through the book, I did not want the story to end because I loved the people so much. I wanted to know what would happen to them throughout their lives. I hope to see some more of these people pop up again in future books by this author."
Are you going to be writing any more?
I am, and I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, but I do intend to continue writing.
Yeah, but it's not going to be like a series of books.
No, it's not.
So again, that's also sometimes when you got a series, there's sometimes good and sometimes not so good,
Right.
So,
right. Well, and the particular story that occurred to me, I just did not envision it being part of a multi-part series, and so the characters and their dramas that were going on in their lives were pretty much wrapped up in the story.
Well, again, we've got our lines open here, and everyone's getting entered in to win a hardcover copy. The number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. And right now, there's no website on it. That's why we're not giving it there. But you could check it out at Amazon.com or BarnesandNoble.com, or just keep on calling here, everybody, and get entered in to win. The book is called The Beauty Beneath. His name is Daniel Welch Kelly, and our number here, 602-277-5369, and toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. In terms
Carol,
of...
I might mention you also, they could go, I do have an author web page at Facebook. It's Daniel Welch Kelly author page, and that has events where I may be doing future book signings and things of that sort.
So, and you can like him there? They like you there as well?
Oh, absolutely.
Well, you can go up there and you can like him on his Facebook page there, and it's just be author Daniel Welch Kelly. And again, you can keep on calling here. We've got our lines open here for everyone to call in at 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You also say that you have, when we first started talking today, excuse me, and you were just sort of telling me sort of why you wrote the book. Why did you write the book?
Well, I'll tell you, as I indicated earlier, I do read a wide variety of books, and I would say that probably more than 50% of my time that I'm reading for enjoyment, I'm reading nonfiction because I like to learn, and yet a lot of times it's hard to beat good fiction, and so I'll find myself picking up, both old and new fiction, and, there are so many great authors out there that I really find myself enjoying getting lost in their stories that they weave, and yet so often at the end of the story I kind of feel like, well, that entertained me for a while, but I'm kind of empty, and I think that some of the older books managed to entertain and do more than entertain. And so that was the goal for this book, The Beauty Beneath, that I had.
That's what you told me, and I thought, and I also love when you told me about the story. I think at the end, there's things that are riveting almost that I can tell about it. I wish I got the copy, but I'm gonna get one. I know I'm gonna get one, so I'm really excited about that. We're gonna keep our lines open here for everyone to keep on calling in. Our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You can go up on his Facebook page. It's author Daniel Welch Kelly, or you can also call in here and get entered in to win a hard copy version. It's a great feel-good book for the summer, gotten great reviews on Amazon. It's a great gift as well. 602-277-5369, and toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. What would you say that your final words are for today?
Never give up, because I think that in my line of work, I see so many people in hopeless situations. We have cases where children are removed from parents' homes, usually due to drug addiction or other issues. And so often I feel like people are in hopeless situations. And this Peter Kearns, one of the main characters, he tried to demonstrate that there really is always hope. And he can find the hope in some of the darkest situations. And I think many of us can too. There's a part where Margaret, the main character, sees a sign that says attitude, the difference between a good day and a bad day. And that kind of, in a snapshot, tells about the theme of the book.
Absolutely. You can go to Amazon.com, BarnesandNoble.com, but you can also call in here. Keep on calling, guys. We've got our lines open for everyone to win a hard copy of the version. And it's a feel-good book for the summer. Again, our number here is 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You could Facebook him. He'd love you to, like him right there on Facebook. It's author Daniel Welch Kelly. The book is called The Beauty Beneath. Again, give us a call here, 602-277-5369. Toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100.